Hi everyone, Murky Dismal here, or also known as Murky Dismal. And today I'm going to give my thoughts on a show that I saw back in the day called Cleopatra 2525. Yeah, I know it's a show that's set in a 2600 year, and it follows three women. One is Hell, or known as Helen Carter. Sarge was Rose, but her kid name never comes up. And Cleopatra, or Cleo for short, her kid name never comes up. Now, in this world, in 524 years or 525 years, the world gets taken over by these beings, these tools called Baileys, who, well, they just killed a lot of folks and ran a lot of folks underground. And Hell's team works with this works for Boyce, or the Word, a woman who talks to everyone and a thing in everybody's head. And why Helen Eason does any of these things is that she's hoping to seek what happened to her mother and father. She believes that Kragan had something to do with it. Doesn't really have truth to it, but believes it enough that she's willing to go for all these things because since she believes she'll learn what happened to them. You have Sarge, her name is Rose, whose sister lives on the earth. There are still folks that live on the top of the earth by that time, but a lot of them see the Baileys as these gods that they're not. And Sarge Rose will run into fights. She will not think before she does. And a lot of times, Hell's the one that has to keep her from doing all of those things. And then you have Cleopatra, or Cleo. That's her name. Her kin name never comes up. She was this stripper skipper from the 2100 year, which that would have been 20 or 2001, while the show can't make up its mind. The show says, oh, she got frozen in 20, which offshoots to 525 years. But it says 2001 YL, and the answer for the reckoning truth for that comes back being 524 years, whatever. And she wakes up into a world where everything's unlike. And she has to learn how the world is. She becomes a good friend to Hell and Sarge, and also lets them know that even though taking back the earth is a good goal, not to forget about helping other folks along the way. You got Mazer, who was a tool who was crafted by the Baileys. Now, the Baileys can take folks. They can make a double digger, a look-alike, a twin of them. They can kill whoever it is. They'll send this double digger, look-alike, or twin back into the world. It will have the thoughts, the feelings, the moods, and the self of whoever it was, but it's not them anymore. Think of it as a sleeping follower who's not even truly a living being anymore. But they got Mazer, and they shifted him, and then he's good, and he helps them out. He also takes weapons and he can craft really cool weapons for them to work with. And their whole goal is to take back the earth, even though each one of them has their own little grounds for why they're doing it. And then you got the Boyce, or the Word, a woman who leads sundry teams, and everyone starts to wonder if you should truly trust her due to her and not truly knowing what her goals are. Kragan, or known as George Bailey, was the one who first came up with the tools, not to overtake the earth in the beginning, but to help the earth. Now, these tools had fake minds, and over time, they started to learn that the only way they could ever heal the earth was to take everybody who was doing, everyone who was making the things go wrong off the earth. So, but he ended up freezing himself up, woke up sometime in somewhere between the 524 525 years. It doesn't say. And him and the Boyce, or the Word, they worked together. They were lovers. And then something happened and they both had a falling out. And then Craig and George Bailey chose to start being a heel and started to fight against the boys, or the word, and all of her teams. He spends time mostly fucking with Helen Carter, Hell, because she believes that he slayed her mother and father. There's also other folks on this show too. There's a woman named Raina. Yeah, I know the last names don't come up, but we can all guess they got names. And Raina once was a team leader of one of these teams back in the day. But the voice of the word had done something to her in her mind and gave her the skills to not only read folks' thoughts, but also to have sway over what someone believed or what someone did. And she wants to get even on the word too, but she only shows up like only in free sagas. The first two in the first following, and the other one and the only one in the two if in the last following. Her and Cregan do not know each other. They don't work together. They both got the same goal, is to bring down the voice or the word, but for two unlike grounds of why they do it. I ended up seeing the show when it first ran on WB 20 to 2001 YL, and also when it was on WGN as well. Now, it could be true that it did have other deals on, I don't know, some UPNs had a deal back in the day, some Foxes did too, and it got dropped due to the lack of good looking time. And it's one of those shows that's hard to get on disc. And if you go on Amazon or Strong Woman, you will see there's a lot of high fees or were for dears for it. And the cheapest you're going to come across is $64.99. That is like the cheapest you can get it for, at least on Strong Woman's website. If you're going through eBay or Etsy or other websites, the fees could be even more higher on that. So that's just my thoughts on that show, Cleopatra 2525. Tell me what you think. Give it a like, share and playlist it, and I'll see you later.